Hello. Hi guys. Hope you're well. Hope everything's good on your end. Things are good here. And today I'm going to talk about something very interesting. So I'm not sure if everybody has an experience like this, but sometimes when you grow up in a city or like in a much more modern environment, and then you spend some time in the village where you go to like a much more rural area, and then you experience things that you would never have experienced if you were in the city. And then sometimes when you guys talk about it, it brings goosebumps to you. So today I'm gonna speak something about like this it doesn't, I don't know if it applies to the drawing or something, but the drawing is mostly something like, there's a good and a bad side to everything. That's why there's like a creepy dude with sharp teeth and if what do you say, and like really grotesque looking neck, super long and windy, and bat wings, and on one side there's like a butterfly wing, a pretty lady in lingerie. I don't know why, but she's in her lingerie. So that's about the drawing. Besides that, so basically, whenever I used to go to my hometown, like where my parents are from, so it's a small town. Would it be called a town? Yeah, I think it's a town. So it's a small town in Lower Assam, and we would have. I would go wild there when I would go. I would go wild. I would just run around in the sun, play the whole day, and then be like a very very nasty rebellious kid, and we would have these evenings and nights where we would talk about like stuff, and like the older cousins or like the older adults would speak about all of these horrifying tales. And trust me, when you're there in that environment with like uh complete darkness outside, no like lights, and if the light goes, like if the electricity goes, it goes for hours and hours, and then like you can hear like everything outside, like there's no sound, there's only like crickets and like weird birds and animals making creepy sounds at night. Everything gets to you. So so this, I think when I made this drawing, all of those things just came to my mind. And there were so many tales about ghosts, demons, and all kinds of supernatural entities. And then usually as a child you're very scared of them, and then if you have like a first hand experience from like whoever I've heard all these stories from, they some of them had experiences, and like those experiences are very scary. Some of them are pretty scary. Like you wouldn't want to be in some kind of situation like that. Like see something, feel something, and you have absolutely no idea what it is. Like people talk about good spirits, bad spirits, but how do you know, right? like okay, I'm pretty sure this is a good spirit, and then some crazy shit happens to you, and then you're like, what the fuck? Okay. So uh, so there are like so many tales like this, and then recently we had, like, I don't want to get into the details of these tales because I don't think this video is going to be that long. Maybe someday I'll do like a video of me talking about it, but since this is a time lapse video and it's going to end by 7 minutes, I'll just try to keep this short. So we had a few friends over. They came from Pune, Maharashtra, and my god, they told us a tale that scared the shit out of me, man. It was horrifying. It was really horrifying. I would never want to experience like that. So I can't get into the full details of the story, but of this friend of ours, so he and his friends had experienced something super crazy, and it was mostly something related to some kind of a man dog, like a figure or something that looked like it was a dog but had a man's head on it, and it kind of chased them and they and it was super horrifying to hear. And like coming from like a certain person, hearing the story from a certain person, you'd be like, you doubt them. Maybe they were like, uh, they were just scared, or they, like, they let things get to them. But the thing is, so this friend of ours, he's so they married, right? The thing that creeped us out was the fact that when the wife experienced this story, she didn't know her husband, or they weren't married, or they weren't hanging around in the same circle. And then when they eventually met, and then they spoke about this area and this place, and then somehow they concluded to reaching the same thing what they had seen, like, that this person, like the husband, saw it with his friends, and the wife had seen it with her friends. And my god, the coincidence just blew my mind, man, and it scared the shit out of me. But like, yeah, it was a tale, man, and like me and my wife, we couldn't sleep. Like I slept off. My wife had a hard time sleeping that night, man, but it was crazy. Actually, we slept at 5:30 in the morning, so I think it was morning, and we were like, yeah, yeah, now everything is fine. But that's just one of the crazy tales. Maybe someday I'll sit and just talk about all this creepy stuff that I've heard, experienced. uh, so that's about it for the video. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, also just let me know. The comment section is always open. Yeah, just leave down like your experience or something like that, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye.